You can see sideways S formation within a channel in the pre-market. There was some opportunity. Let's see here. That's an interesting ace of wands. But either way, a cash out from the long opportunity I advised here. That was a good spot to get out. And then at the end of the day, wasn't quite as good because what I was expecting took place after the close of the day, which happens sometimes. It's frustrating when that happens, but pretty solid reading. Some people are holding long, and they'll likely be able to exit first thing in the morning. There should be a pretty big whipsaw kind of thing going on in the first hour and a half tomorrow for S&P. We're also going to go over Tesla. We're going to go over Bitcoin, and then I'm sure by then some people have questions. Yeah, this is the third is going to be a pretty wild day, guys. Unicursal here, but also the biggest bullish card in the deck. And then we got a drop and then a return. At least 2 fake outs, like intentional fake out, shakeout. That's very Ace of Swordsy for sure. And then the Unicursal hexagram that on the monthly is taking place on the 4th. Obviously, cross congruency here on the 3rd, so we're a little bit ahead of the schedule, which happens occasionally, plus or minus a day of wiggle room here or there in some of these monthlies. That's why the Discord trade alerts for early access, you get the SPY trade alerts. It's really the best way to go. Hey, shoot them up. Move up to theta, shoot them. Give me a second. I got a cramp. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna stretch it out real quick. Be right back. So as far as data for October, I feel pretty strongly we end up near highs, which is not in line with a lot of the other ones, but I feel pretty strongly about it. It doesn't mean that we don't have lows similar to the other months, but towards the end of the month, there should be pretty big move to the upside there. Give me one sec as I open up the chart. Yeah, so this is in line with everything that I see going on. There's a significant trough or lowest low here at the beginning of the month. This is going to do a lot of sidewaysy kind of behavior. I think probably kind of scare people out at this point. But like off of below. There should be a lot of price change to the downside tomorrow, early in the day, and then by the end of the day, or by the beginning of the fourth, we should have a big move to the upside out of a low. Yeah, this is pretty much in line. You could, if you're looking for like a quick like swing trade, I would say watch this decline tomorrow. Open up a little bit if there's a sharp decline early in the morning. Open up partial, and then if we're lower at the end of the day, add to the partial. If we're not, but we're lower in the morning tomorrow, add to the partial. Either way, we'll end up tomorrow going pretty much to the upside, and we should have highs around the 7th, 8th, probably the 8th. But overall, it's going to be kind of sidewaysy. And then we get into November, and November's looking pretty bullish. There's a rally coming. I've been off on the 1 year quite a bit as far as like my expectation of where these highs were going to be. The pattern still emerged as expected, especially on the 1 month. But on the 1 year, the highs weren't as high. They were peaks, but they didn't go nearly as high. So it was a bit frustrating. But I do expect this to move to the upside. Those highs were all kind of like speculation, and you get clearer as we move towards the end of the year and into the beginning of next year. And this gets significantly bullish. I have a pretty strong feeling this will hit around $2, somewhere around there, in either in late October or in November. And then there's a pretty notable move on a multi-year scale to the upside, probably on the cusp of December, January, or maybe early January. Hey, Modern Awakened Perspective. Hey, Radmir. Zarapov. Zarapov, excuse me. Something is wrong with the sound. Very noisy. Is it better now? Cool. Hey, I'm doing well, Modern Awakened Perspective. Hope you are too. Hey, April, do I still see Tesla going up tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to cover Tesla right now, actually. So there was a trade in here yesterday to open up a short right at the close, right? And we were going to close the short in the morning here. People were instructed to close the short in the midst of this red ellipse that formed. And that totally took place during the day in the Discord alerts. I advised people to open up a long for a day trade and advised them to close somewhere around here for a day trade. So two pretty solid trades based on the dailies for Tesla thus far. You know about these trades ahead of time if you've got early access, if you've got monthly access on our website, Tarot for Traders. There's a paid version of all these daily Teslas. But so here at the end of the day, we had this move here. This was an opportunity to open up a long. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a wacky day as well. But overall, this should be to the upside. There's probably a sharp drop here in the morning with these two aces in mind. We'll probably go from a high around the open into a low, and then we rally back pretty notably in an attempt to establish support there. And be careful, there's that unicursal right there on the 4th. Oh, yeah, and I had a pretty strong clairvoyant impression. It was more than that. It was like my guides kind of giving me a message while I was doing the readings. There's a pretty sharp drop in here on the 4th. This is going to be pretty wild here in the morning. There's probably some it's probably military related with that's pretty obvious, but let's double check. Sorry, Radmir, I'm glad you told me. That was my subliminals playing in the background. So the closest thing to a shortcut in one's self-evolution is subliminal programming. That's about as close as it gets to a shortcut. It is kind of a shortcut. You still got to do the work. But I've been using subliminal messaging to program my subconscious mind for years and years and years. It's literally on the majority of the time that I'm awake. I'm listening to subliminal programming, and it's constantly pre-paving my future. It's how I developed my abilities. I poop you not. So that was my subliminals playing. I forgot to turn them off. Thanks for letting me know, my man. Oh, I listen to... Which subliminal do I like? I listen to... I have... like 8 playlists that are playing right now. Like 8 separate playlists playing right now. And each of those playlists has anywhere from like 20 to like 300 subliminal YouTube videos in it. And it's just on loop, loop, loop all day long. Whenever I can listen to it, that's what I'm listening to. I also have music playing. The subliminals are at a lower volume. But, I mean, it transforms your life. People stop using it like, oh, this isn't doing anything. And that's the big mistake. That's the big error with subliminals. Just keep listening to them. You're going to be like, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. And then one day you're going to wake up and be like, holy crap, this has been working. This has been working. It's like that. I'm pretty sure we have some links to subliminals somewhere on the YouTube channel as well. There's like a playlist for that. Anyhow, that's Tesla. Their veracity. I'm gonna add you guys after this live stream. I'm gonna conduct the first stage of the altcoin picker reading for 2025, which if you're new to the channel, what that is, these are special readings. I do these at the beginning of each year. Excuse me if I coughed in your ears, guys. Sorry about that. But I do these starting last year. I decided to do these at the beginning of each year. And basically, it's a way to narrow down through deduction, to narrow down to the most, like the top performing altcoins. I do the same thing with stocks. There's a stock picker that starts with a sector picker. So all that stuff's going to get done starting tonight, right after this live. If there's an altcoin that you want to see on the altcoin picker reading, now would be a really great time to let me know. I'm going to add veracity. As for Bitcoin, as I understand it, we expect growth after the 7th and until the 11th. And how would you describe the period from the 11th to the 19th, 22nd? So here's the thing about these October readings. There's like alternates for a lot of them. So the way that I'll be able to determine which of those alternates it really is, which with like a level of certainty, is going to be dependent on what takes place around the 7th, 8th, what price levels we meet on the 7th, 8th. And that'll give me a good idea if we're going sidewaysy or if it's more of a decline than I first expected. Because this is a pretty strong decline card for a theme card. We should see pretty much like an overall decline, which it looks like we end significantly to the bottom. But I don't think it's straight down. I think there's some real zigzagging wild stuff going on here. So from like the 11th to the 19th, 22nd. there's a lot of high significators within that period of time. And again, when we get around to the seventh, eighth, I'll have a much better idea of if those high significators are indicating actual highs, or if they're just peaks on the way down or something like that. Which there's a good possibility that they're just peaks on the way down. And if that's the case, then we've already seen the high, or we see the high on the fifth. But my sense, if I had to guess, my first guess would be that it's kind of sidewaysy and overall to the downside, rather than it just being like down. We might see highs, lows, and then highs again before the actual bottom low. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, it was long-winded, but it's complicated. All right, let's check out Veracity. Let's see if I've got a chart for this yet. Nope. City. And you know, some people like, especially classically trained psychologists, will tell you, well, it's really not, there's really no like conclusive evidence that subliminals work. It could easily be just you tricking your mind into a placebo effect, blah 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 blah, and they try to explain it away. The fact is, I've got 3,000 videos on YouTube that prove subliminals work, because my friends, I was not psychic or aware that I was psychic, one of those two options, when I was younger. It was only after years of subliminals that I got to this level. So they definitely work. And it's just another situation in which we're providing unequivocal and undeniable evidence of the phenomenon. Extrasensory. All right, so Veracity. Shoot 'em up. Are you Tertullus on Discord? I'm just curious, because that's what my sense is. That's what I'm getting. I don't want to say your real name on live stream, but your Discord. KSPA, AVX, APX. So those are all definitely getting covered. There's a 2025 coming out for Caspa actually very soon. By the end of the week, by the weekend at the latest, we'll have another a 2025 reading for Tonic, Harmony One, AMC, Mana, and hopefully for Bitcoin as well. There's going to be a few multi-years coming out as well. USPT, IOTA. Thank you for the hearts. Love you guys. I believe I think we already have a 2025 Solana out. I think that's probably been out for a while. If I'm wrong about that, then it'll be coming out soon. Yeah, that sounds, Radmir, that sounds about right. I don't think we're going like much lower than that though. Like I had people asking me about like 35,000 level. That's not happening. The low is over. The low is behind us for the years as far as my sense is for Bitcoin. Wait, I didn't actually cover veracity, did I? All right, veracity. This is down. This is downward for the remainder of the year. Bearish price swings. I would avoid. On like a short term, like end of the year kind of scale. I would avoid. It didn't show opportunity to buy in the decline either. Any other coins you guys want to see added to this altcoin picker reading? I'm gonna do something like 60 coins, something around there, 50 or 60 coins, maybe even more. It's appropriate day to do it because it's a solar eclipse, and it's also Rosh Hashanah, which is like the beginning of the Jewish New Year. A ton, like that's the crypto ton. I don't have ton on there. I'll put that on there for you. If that's correct, like, please confirm ton is a crypto. Hey, buddy, come here. He's such a good boy. You know, everybody loves you. Give me kisses. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. Hey, this is Hermes. This is my best bud. He just turned 3. Mwah. You want to come up? Come here. Come here, Goof. It's not time to play. Come on. It's not time to play. Come on. All right, come here. Telegram Messenger has a crypto? Weird. All right, well, I'll add it to the list. I'm going to make this a quick, a shorter live stream than normal, guys. So if you have any more questions, now would be the time to ask. Also, guys, the new special offer that we have out. If you're interested in it, message me through the website. It's a multi-year reading. They're $150 normally a pop, and you can do like. Excuse me, jeez. You can do from 2020 to 2029. If they weren't around in 2020, like it'll be from whatever year to 2029. Or you can do 2030 to 2039 to get like a general idea of what it is over time. There's multi-year readings on YouTube as well that you can take a look at and give you an idea. It's like basically chart behavior by the year. Where the multi-year highs are, where the multi-year lows are. Oh, thank you. Right in the mouth, huh? Right in the mouth. You sit like a human. He sits up just like a human. He's so funny, you know. He's so funny. Oh, thank you so much. It works everywhere except the US, of course. Just like we don't use the metric system. Yeah, I feel pretty strongly there's going to be a nice move to the upside here. I had people who purchased here at this level, and they either exited out here or they're waiting for a high in here. Have I thought about making a monthly layout for Bitcoin and for the Bitcoin ETF? Well, there is one for Bitcoin, but I wouldn't do the IBIT because it's redundant. Just like it's why I don't do. You asked me about Ethereum. We used to do Ethereum, but it's very redundant because they follow each other. I don't need that as verification. Like they normally follow each other. Like it's better to use an altcoin if I'm gonna like compare Bitcoin against a bunch of altcoins and see what's happening there. But it would be too redundant. I'd rather do something else. Anyhow, I'm gonna roll, my friends. So the special offer is buy four get two free, or buy six for $600. It's basically $50 off per reading. And they're quick readings. They're not very long, but they give you some pretty valuable information on like a multi-year scale. You can plan ahead of time where you want to get in and get out. With that said, guys, I'm going to roll. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to get to these important readings that we're doing by the Rosh Hashanah and the solar eclipse. And the next time I will be on is tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Blessings to all my angel investors. I will see you guys.